Hello, my friend, and welcome to Security Insecure, hosted by me, Johnny Seifert. This is the Celebrity Mental Health Podcast where I say it's okay to not be okay. And if you're watching on YouTube, click that subscribe button, give a thumbs up rating, and leave a review. And if you're listening on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you're listening to your podcast, click that subscribe button, leave a 5-star rating, and leave a review. And let's keep spreading the word that it's okay to not be okay. Because as we go into 2024 and we click that reset button yet again, let's put our mental health at the forefront because we always say at the beginning of the year we're going to do it, and then by the summer we give up. So let's really make an effort this year that we're going to focus on our mental health, and we're going to do that by starting by talking to my guest today. My guest today you will know from the 2023 series of Big Brother, where she entered the house and lasted 24 days until she was evicted. She was known as maybe the most controversial star of the series. She was known as the loudest star of the series. However, she was known and is still known as the most memorable person from this series. And so I'm delighted to welcome to Skin Secure to tell her mental health journey through Big Brother and beyond. It's Kerry Riches. Hello, Kerry.
Oh, hello. Hi, Johnny. How are you?
All the better for seeing you. What a way to end this year. You know, we look back at 2023, loads of reality shows have happened. Celebs Go Dating, Love Island, and then Big Brother happened. And to talk to you as we wrap up 2023, I couldn't think of a better person to speak to.
Thank you so much. Yeah, honestly, it's a real pinch me moment. I applied for a career break in the NHS, didn't really know what I was going to do. I was going to do some reflective writing, because we'd had a tough time. Oh, everyone in the NHS had a terribly tough time during COVID. So took a career break and then saw Big Brother, and I thought I'll apply for that. I'll give it a go. I've got a story to tell because they were looking for real people with that have overcome maybe trials and tribulations, or have a story to tell. And I just thought this is my opportunity to raise awareness for multiple sclerosis, which is so incredibly close to my heart. And I got diagnosed with 15 years ago. I'm an NHS in my particular trust. I was a disability and inclusion champion, flying the flag for disability. But I just knew that this would give me the opportunity to do it on a much wider scale.
When you say 15 years that you've had MS for, why now did you want the platform to speak out? What made you in your mind go, this is my responsibility, no one else is doing it, I need to be that person to speak out for it?
The day I found out I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis was the day that I gained a superpower. I know it's not the same for everyone. People really do struggle mentally to come to terms with a diagnosis like that. My family did. My mum sat next to me and cried her eyes out. For me, it was I felt a sense of relief. I really did feel like, okay, it's got a name. We've come so far with medicine in all fields. They're going to treat this. I know what it is now, and I know I've got that fire in my belly to deal with it. It's got a name, and I'm going to be all right. From that moment, I took it back to work. I was asked to be an inclusion champion. One of nine. So there's 9 protected characteristics for equality and inclusion. One of them is disability, and I was asked if I would fly the flag for disability and be the inclusion champion for that, because I really wouldn't ever let my diagnosis or my disability stop me from doing anything. And I'd come so far in my own trust. I just wanted to, and I'd seen so much how it had empowered people that I work with and people that I meet with on a daily basis. Even when I go for treatment at the Royal London, I talk to people, they say, how do you keep so positive? And a couple of people have said to me a few times, you need to speak about this. Like you're such a positive person when it comes to your disability. Like,
Well, let's talk about that story a little bit more, and let's go back to the beginning. What were those first initial signs that you saw that led to you going to seek doctor's help, to go and go, something's not quite right with me?
so I had my son in the April. I had a fall. I started tripping over my feet. This is bizarre. Pins and needles in my fingers and my toes to the point where I felt like they were going to explode. Started losing vision in my left eye. Not to the point where I couldn't see anything, but it was like, when you go to the opticians and they go, is it better with number 1 or number 2? And one's always super blurry. It was like that. And it was getting increasingly more difficult. And then I realised I couldn't see anything in my peripheral. So I could see straight ahead of me, but I couldn't see nothing to the sides. I thought, this is just not right. It's not, your own body. I'd just gone back to work because I only could have 3 months off. I couldn't afford to have any more. And I went to a work meeting in London. And a couple of girls, when I got off the train at Liverpool Street, said, oh, look at her, drunk at this time of the morning. And I wasn't. I don't drink. So I'd got off the train and these girls were talking about me. And I didn't realise that I was swaying and walking towards the wall until I'd reached the wall. And I thought, them girls are right. I am staggering. I am gravitating more towards the wall. And it really was a moment where I thought, I've got to go and see a doctor about this. I'd eat my dinner and then look up to talk to my husband, or we was out for a meal, and then I'd feel like I was on a boat, really, really whooshy, head dizzy feeling. I, like you do, played Dr. Google. Everything I read was that I had a brain tumour. So I went to see my GP and I said, who I got on very well with, I'd worked with him at this point for a good 7 years, and I sort of said, I need an MRI. And I'm not leaving here without one. And the doctor said, well, I think you've been a bit melodramatic, Kerry. You know, you've just had a baby and your body's trying to adjust. You know, hormones can do funny things with your body. And you know, let's see how you get on. I said, no, I need an MRI. I said, I'm not right. I pride myself in the job that I do in patient experience, that our patients know their own bodies. Our patients are our expert patients. They know their own body. No one knows your body like you know your body, Johnny. And I really felt like that about my body. And I knew there was something more going on. And I kept on and I kept on and I kept on. And he said, you're not going to leave here without this referral, are you? And I said, no, I'm not. And I'm really pleased I did push for it. And I was properly diagnosed on the 10th of October. And I had my 15-year anniversary while I was in the Big Brother house. Didn't make a big thing of it, but yeah, I was 15 years diagnosed on the 10th of October this year. And I remember just going back to the GP and I looked at his screen, because you know, in the NHS, you sort of know what systems they've got. And I looked and I said, is that what they think I've got? My mum was sitting next to me, and my baby that was only a couple of months old, he was crying. He just wanted to feed. He didn't know what was going on. But my mum got upset. She volunteered. My mum had volunteered for many years, short mobility. She'd sort of booked out scooters and stuff, and she knew a lovely lady that had MS. She was in her 70s. My mum just couldn't believe it, that it was happening to me. And she just said that, you know, I really want to take it away from you. And I said, I'm all right. Out of everybody in this family, I know I'm made of stuff that can handle this. I wouldn't want it to be anyone else, and I'm fine. I've got this.
So that was the internal look at your body. What about the external way? How did you view your body when you were looking at yourself in the mirror and you were getting dressed to see other people, be it your husband or going to work? How did you view your body image at that time?
I felt I've never ever been body confident ever to look at my body, but I just felt that I wasn't the person that I always was. I wasn't able to be the mum that I wanted to be. You know, I wasn't able to carry my baby around, and because you feel that things are so different, things are getting taken away from me so much, and can I even trust my legs now? It was a real moment where you just sort of think, am I even going to be able to be the mum that I want to be? You're making me emotional.
Welcome to Secure the Insecure. That's exactly what we do on this podcast. 25 years old, you get diagnosed with MS, and you're still trying to navigate who you are in your 20s. Who am I post-university? Who am I in the system? What is the life I'm going to live?
Yeah.
Age 25, when you're still trying to work out who you are, and then you've got questions not just about the MS to your doctor, but almost questions to the world of, yes, you've been given this superpower, but why me? You know, this is me for the rest of my life. How did you process that of understanding, I've got this problem, but I'm going to turn it into a superpower, and I'm not just going to turn it into a superpower for myself, for other people, but also I'm here to stay. I'm going to live the best years of my life. I'm going to live to 150,000. You know, this isn't going to take me away now. I'm only 25 years old.
My nan always used to say to me, she's no longer with us now, bless her, but she always used to say, that girl, she's all the way there and halfway back her. I'm driven. I get a bit between my teeth. My mum says to me all the time, Kel, you're like a dog with a bone. I have to achieve. I'm a control freak. I'm the person that goes to Disney with a spreadsheet. We know what parks we're going to and what day. We know where we're eating. We know I'm just a doer. I have to take control, Johnny. That's what I love to do. And I just thought, no one's going to take this away from me. And I'm incredibly career driven. I like to be the best person that I can. I like to achieve. I like to dream big. I went to a Christmas market, and this was the one. It says dream big on this bit of wood. It's everywhere with me. It's just this tiny little pebble, and it's my thing. I have to achieve. And at the time I was quite junior in the NHS, and I just thought, you know, I want to be a head of department. I want to provide for my family. I want to keep going. I don't want to stop. I want to raise awareness about this disease. I'm 25. It can't be you. There is a part of you that feels like damaged goods. You feel like if you go for that job, if you go for that, and that, you know, if you go for that promotion, that are you ever going to get it over someone that isn't damaged goods, that hasn't got that disability? Are you always going to be on the back foot? And in the NHS, you can tick a box that says that if you are covered under DA, the Disability Discrimination Act, you can be guaranteed an interview under the interview. I never would tick that box because I was so proud of what I'd achieved and where I'd got to. I wanted them to interview me on my own merit. I knew that I needed to I had an end goal. You know, I wanted to I wanted to be a senior manager, and I wanted to show that you can absolutely lead a team, be a senior leader in a big acute hospital and make a difference, and do it with MS. Because you read a lot that says you can't, and I knew I could.
Well, also, I think it gets to that point as well that because of the physical implications of having MS and over the past 15 years of going through the different treatments, that you suddenly don't have the fear. I think a lot of us have the fear of death, roller coasters, aeroplanes, claustrophobia. Am I going to die by being on the train and we're stuck in the tunnel for a minute? And we all think, oh my God, we're going to die and the world's going to end. And yet, you've had to program yourself for 15 years
Yeah.
to go, I'm okay. And yeah, I might not be able to walk today, but I'm still alive. I can still do everything I want to do. And yet
Yeah.
I'm not dying. And I mean, I did a bit of research before this interview, and it said that MS, you might die 10 years earlier than someone else, but they're trying to narrow that gap. But you're still going to live your full life. It's not like, thank God, it's not like you said, that a tumor or cancer that's going to take you away in 6 weeks' time. That you have got the rest of your life to go for it. And so why should you not try and achieve what you want to achieve? You're the same as everyone else.
100%. And you read. I read some horrendous stuff like the majority of people die 40 years after diagnosis. So I was like, that's my parents' age now. Like my mum's 66, my dad's 67. I got diagnosed at 25, and I was like, that's not going to happen to me. We've come so far with medicine. It's not going to happen with me. But you do. You read, and I don't read anything now. Like one thing I've learned about MS is everybody's disease is incredibly different. Everyone's chronic long-term condition affects them very, very, very differently. And there's really no one size fits all. People respond differently as well to treatments. I do MS Mondays on a Monday evening on TikTok. Some people can't even get on with the drug that I'm on now, and they've been took off that. For me, it's the best thing that I've ever been on. So it really is. Everyone responds so incredibly different, not only to their own diagnosis, but also how they respond to the treatment they're put on. And we have come so far with medicine. I just feel like me and my real go get attitude and that desire to keep going, keep pushing boundaries, show that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve and have a disability. That's one of my biggest things. I think when I was in the Big Brother house, when we were talking about the jobs that we did, we were all talking about sort of where we were, what we earned, how senior we were. And it turns out they only decided to show me talking about it. It's because I was incredibly proud of where I'd got to. I was diagnosed in the NHS. At the time I was a band 4, and to get to a senior manager from a band 4, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of targets that have got to be met. It's a lot of hours. You give your whole self when you work for the NHS, your whole self. There's been times that I've not been around at home because you're sitting with that family at work, and you give your whole self to the NHS. It really is the machine that never stops. I think it's easy to become a little bit burnt out, and that's why I've decided to do something different now since coming out the house, and I have decided to not return after my career break. I mean, with the heaviest of heart, Johnny, honestly. Like I don't know any other employer. I've worked for the NHS since the age of 19. I really do feel like I've got to where I wanted to be in the NHS, to be a head of such an incredible department and fly the flag for disability. But I've done that in my trust, and now I want to do it on a wider scale. And I want to show absolutely everybody doing any job, you can do this stuff and have a disability. Just dream big and don't let anyone tell you can't.
That's your role in the world of the MS world, but there's also a fame world that comes with it as well. You've done your TV stint on Big Brother, you did Deal or No Deal a couple of years ago as well. Why the fame side though? Because I get it about having the platform that you want to pull it out there, you want to say, look, these are my experiences, I'm going forward with it. But you could have done that as a newsletter. You could have done that as your own podcast and built up an organic following. Why did you think I need to go on TV to have that responsibility? And how are you now adapting to that life as a celebrity?
Deal or No Deal happened because my nan loved the show. She wanted to go on it and then realised she wouldn't be able to stand behind the boxes for that long. That's why my nan, bless her, she's not in anymore. But and then she got the stuff and she chickened out a little bit. She said, oh no, I can't do it. You do it. So I filled the forms in. And that was 16 years ago. I've always been a fan of Big Brother, and I've wanted to go on it before, but when it was on the other, Channel 4 and Channel 5, do you ever remember there used to be all them big steps going up to the house?
Mm.
And I used to think, how would I even do that? I couldn't walk up them loads of stairs, and I don't think, imagine me going up on a stair lift. I mean, not gonna, or it just felt like.
However, just to say, Vern Troyer was on one of those series. I can't remember which one. I think it was Celebs Big Brother 3 or 4, and he entered the side door. So it is possible, just because in case Big Brother say, well, hold on a minute, there isn't just stairs. There is another access way into the house through a side door that
Sorry,
goes
I
near a
didn't want
dining room.
to go through a side door though. I wanted to stand in front of that bit and wave in front of that eye like I did when I went in the house. That's what I wanted. I didn't want, like, do you know what I say about this? Is what I say all the time about what I say about inclusion, equality, and diversity. Yeah, it's not about being invited to the party. It's being asked to dance. That's what inclusion means. That's what inclusion means to me. So I get that one size doesn't fit all and there's another way around me able to have it. But I don't want to go through a fire exit. I don't want a side door. I wanted to go in that entrance. And it just felt to me this year that I'd be able to do everything all the other housemates would be able to do. And you know what I did? It would give me the ability to do what I needed to do faster.
I feel like the fact that you're very pro ITV, and the fact that you're now part of the ITV family, for me, it would make sense to put you straight into This Morning in a agony aunt style section, and to have that section talking about MS, but not also just MS, but to be the face of disability, because they don't necessarily have that representation on the show at the moment. And I think as we go into 2024, we changed the host, obviously with Holly and Phil leaving, that this is the perfect time to have someone who understands disability, but also can be outspoken and not very straight to the page.
Johnny, honestly, that was my everything. I literally, if I come out, you come out and you do lots of interviews, and they ask me, what do I want to do? And I said, I want to be loose women. I'd love to be on the loose women panel, or I'd love to be on This Morning. And obviously, people are, they're phoning and ask Deirdre, and obviously Deirdre's an absolute legend, and Deirdre's around, but I wouldn't. So it's a very different space. So yeah, it would be flying the flag for disability, and it would be Ask Kerry. That would be my absolute everything, because I want to empower people that just don't feel like they can. And I'm also very much like, I've never been poor me. I really do feel like there's always a workaround. We absolutely can get you, like, what do you want? We'll get you there. Don't feel like you can't do anything. You absolutely can. We'll do it differently. We'll make it happen another way. Phone in, chat with me. I promise you I'll make you feel good. People say to me all the time, how are you so positive all the time? And I just feel like, what's the alternative? We absolutely can do this. So yeah, that would be my dream job. Fly the flag for disability, be there on my scooter, sit on TV with my stick next to me. It's okay to have your mobility aid. It's okay for it to be visible. Let's just put it out there. And I pride myself on actually being really quite intelligent. And I was that agony aunt in the house. I know there was lots and lots and lots of footage of myself, Hallie and the lovely Olivia. I was everyone's mum in there. I was absolutely, people would come to me and ask me all sorts of things. And that's what I've done for the last 21 years in the NHS, has been ahead of patient experience. You sit with families, you navigate ways to work out what we can do and what we can, the care we can provide, the care we can't provide. That's Johnny, that's my job. This Morning, disability advocate.
Have you had meetings with ITV? You come out of the house, you're part of the ITV family. Have you had those actual conversations, rather than just dreaming about and talking to me about it? What's going on behind the scenes to actually make this happen? It
was a difficult time to come out of the house. Obviously, the show itself finished on the 17th of November, and then there's been all sorts of things happening with. It was Black Friday. It's been Christmas. It's been busy for everyone, for shows as well as brands. So 2024 is when we're going to start having those sorts of discussions. So no, nothing's happened yet, and I've only had management since Monday. You meet with lots and lots and lots of management companies. Yeah, I'm really happy with who I'm with, and those discussions I'm confident are going to be happening in 2024. There's so much happening in 2024. I'm really excited about a documentary that I can't say anything about at the moment, but that is really close to my heart. That comes out late spring. I'd love to do a documentary like that with like what Zara do, and like Olivia Atwood, all of those sorts of documentaries around living with a disability and navigating, because I'm telling you now, it's so difficult. Like, you don't realise air travel is difficult. going to a meal. We went to see a West End musical. Well, it wasn't a musical, it was that 222 A Ghost Story. It wasn't a musical at all. There's absolutely no singing in it. But we went to get some food after, and we just wanted to have some Asian food. My husband went to the door and said, "Have you got a table for two?" And they said, yeah, we can fit you in. That's no problem. But that can't come in, and pointed at me and my scooter. And my husband said, "That's her legs. Like, what do you mean that can't come in?" "Oh, we can fit two of you in. We've got a table, but that can't come in." It was raining. We couldn't leave my scooter outside. I didn't have my stick with me. You know, I tried to get to London on a train not so long ago. The lift wasn't working. And it's just, "Oh, well, it's only not been working for a couple of days." That's not okay. I can't get anywhere now. Like, I can't get to the next platform, or, you know, it's just, "Oh, but then they say, but the escalators are working." How can I get my scooter on an escalator? Like, I just feel like there's just a real lack of awareness for people that have got disabilities that needs to change. It has to change. I can't scream loud enough that saying that a lift's been broken for a couple of days is acceptable, because there's another way to get you to the top of the station. It's not acceptable. I can't
Well,
use the stairs and I can't use escalators.
this is why your new manager, the amazing Wendy, who I've worked with for years, absolutely love her, needs to get that meeting with this morning for you, because you need to be on there talking about this. Because otherwise, how's anyone going to know? If you're not talking about it, there's no conversation going. And
Yeah.
you need to be that person, Kerry, to start that conversation. I can't thank you enough for coming on Skid and Skid. And what a way to finish off 2023. If you love Kerry and you love Big Brother, there are episodes of Zach from Kerry series on Skinny and Skid, as well as loads of other Big Brother contestants such as Chanel Hayes from the normal series, and people like Sam Thompson, Chloe Ferry, Amelia Lilly, and loads more from the celebrity series, all on Skinny and Skid in the library. So go and check them out over the holidays when you're looking for your podcast to watch or listen to. And thank you. Thank you for watching or listening to Skinny and Skid this year. I couldn't have done it without you. And I hope we've helped change those conversations that it's okay to not be okay. And if you enjoyed today's episode, or you've enjoyed Skinny and Skid over the past year on YouTube, give a thumbs up, leave a 5-star rating and a review. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, leave a comment, leave that 5-star rating, click that subscribe, follow button, and let's keep spreading the word as we go into 2024 that it's okay to not be okay. On TikTok at Johnny Seifert 92, on Instagram at Skinny and Skid Podcast, and at Johnny Seifert is where you can find me. I'll put all previous teasers out there so that we can keep spreading the word it's okay to not be okay. And I'm going to keep doing that next year. My first guest next year will be Roxy Hamady from Geordie Shore to tell her mental health journey. Obviously, Geordie Shore's coming back soon, so we're going to be talking about that. Also, Caprice, what is mental health like in the modelling industry? We keep having that conversation. We're going to keep developing that next year, because we need to keep talking about body image. We need to keep making it acceptable that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to look the way you look. It's all about the inside, not the outside, that counts. So until next year, I'm Johnny Seifert. Thank you so much for watching or listening to Skin and Secure. Thank you and goodbye.